There is a place so close to our heartbeat that it is us. And the wonderful news is when we have the courage to land in that place, it's like we land in the eye of the storm. And all adversity, all angst, all worry, all fear can be overcome. Do you know what that place is called? That place is called the vision place of the soul. It is that place that connects us to the entire universe and to the love that is us. And the most wonderful part is the vision place of the soul lives in us. Lives in us, breathes in us, and yearns for us. So this morning we're going to explore how we can make contact with and dive into the center of our vision place of the soul. So what we thought was impossible becomes possible. What we thought we couldn't do, suddenly we can do. Yes, why not? Yes. Because Wa is the entrance to the vision place in the soul. Where all becomes possible. Particularly what we may have thought is not possible. This vision is about living a fearless life. Not waiting on conditions to be a certain way out there. Because are they ever? Who here has a life that unfolds perfectly every day? Who, yeah? Oh, except for Doug. Who here has a life that doesn't have incredible challenge? Raise your hand. So if we waited for things on the outside to be a certain way, oh my gosh, we'd be waiting a long time. And so the vision place of the soul reminds us it doesn't matter what's happening out there. It matters what's happening in here. Land there and it will unfold you into what needs to be done. Said, faced, healed, transformed. Let it land in you. The vision place of the soul reminds us, come home, land in me, all will be well. So Joshua Chamberlain made a decision on his battlefield of life. And there's a lot in his story that can teach us and guide us and inform us in our everyday life. Would you like to hear the story? Yes. This is an awesome story. This is taken from The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. It was July the 2nd, 1863, on the fields of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, at the height of the Civil War. Union leader Colonel Chamberlain and his fighting men of the 20th Maine Regiment had tried to hold their position that day against General Lee's men, the Army of North Virginia. After 5 bloody attacks from the rebels, Chamberlain realized his troops would not be able to hold them off any longer. More than half his regiment was dead, and many of his remaining soldiers were wounded. He was outnumbered by better than 5 to 1. After quickly surveying the situation, he realized also that they were also almost out of ammunition. Less than 2 bullets per man remaining. And glancing down the hill, he could see the attackers readying themselves for the final assault. His own officers counseled, "They outnumber us. We have no ammunition. It is hopeless." Chamberlain didn't respond. He was calculating the cost of freezing, remaining, staying where he was. The cost, he determined, was essentially the same as running away. There was only one choice. "Joshua!" His first lieutenant and brother screamed, "Give an order!" And so he did. "Fix bayonets!" And his men looked at him as if he were crazy. "Excuse me, sir?" "Excuse me, sir?" the sergeant asked for a moment, and they all stood there and stared. "Excuse me, sir?" And from down the line, "They're coming!" "Fix bayonets, I said! Charge!" And with that, Chamberlain drew his sword and jumped to the top of the wall. With the enemy now a little more than 50 yards away, he pointed his sword at them and screamed, "Charge! Charge!" And with that, the fighting men followed their leader into victory. The Confederate troops, upon seeing the leader of the opposition mount the wall, immediately stopped, unsure as to what was happening. But when Chamberlain pointed his sword toward them and commanded his men to charge, they literally turned and ran. They were certain that these were not the same soldiers they had been facing. Surely there must have been massive reinforcements. In their minds, it was not even within the realm of possibility that a beaten regiment would charge. Within less than 10 minutes, the ragged group of men under Chamberlain's command, without any ammunition at all this point, captured the entire regiments of the 15th Alabama and the 47th Alabama, more than 400 men, which changed the whole course of the Civil War, which changed the whole course of U.S. history. Think of what it had been had the war been finalized that day. In that moment, he chose the only choice, which was life, even in the face of death. He paused in the vision place of the soul and found the courage to confront the enemy with, one could say, love, in the broader definition of love. Fear would have turned away or stayed frozen. Love said, go. Love takes us to our helpers, our healers. Love takes us to our mat in spiritual practice. Love takes us again and again to confront our own enemies, without and within. When we choose love, as with Joshua Chamberlain, whether he lived or died, it's done for us. We're already victorious. Is it not true? It's already done. The outcome is not the issue. It's the process that we have lived. This was echoed by Crazy Horse, holy man of the Lakota, known as Sioux by the white man who shouted, "Hokai hey! Today's a good day to die." As he went out on his horse in the middle and said, "We're doing this. It's a good day to die." It was expressed by Todd Beamer on 9/11 when he stood and said, "Let's roll." Hey, we're all going to die. Maybe not today, maybe not next year, maybe not for 25 years, but I can guarantee you we're all going to die. So death is not the problem. It's how we live that becomes important. Let's roll! Charge! Wow! So I have a question for you. I have 3 questions for you. What would it mean for each of us? What would it mean for you to claim your vision place of your soul? What would that mean for you? What would it change in your life if you realized all that was required was your yes? Your charge? How would you be different if you realized you could not fail? What would you do? What would you be? What fears would you say, "I'm ready, bring them on. I'm ready for you. I'm in the vision place." What might shift? What might shift? Come home to the vision place of the soul. Consecrate your life on the holy battlefield, one charge at a time. Become who you may be as the vision unfolds you.